And it is time for our artist spotlight. You know, before the break, we had the chance to talk with Boise's chef, Chris Kamori, about the 2024 Day of Remembrance with the Friends of Minidoka. And now we continue our conversation with Kishi Bashi, excuse me, who tonight will be showcasing his song film Omoiyari at the Egyptian Theater. Such an honor to have, as we lovingly call him, Kay, here in studio. So Kay, tell us about your song Omoiyari.
So Omoiyari is actually the name of my album, and it's a word about having empathy, compassion, and I've written a bunch of songs about it, you know, and put them on this album called Omoiyari.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so that's the culmination of all your work as Omoiyari.
And it's also the movie, the name of the movie.
That's right, because this is a part of a film. So tell us about this film that you created.
Yeah, so it's called a song film, and I'm calling it a song film because it's supposed to be this artistic statement of documentary filmmaking and songwriting.
Oh, I love it.
All in one.
All right, so it's where they meet, the point in which they meet.
Yeah, we tried to make it meet. Yeah.
Okay.
And we struggled, but I think we've got it, yeah.
Well, and help us understand too then, what does that experience look like? What can people kind of expect? I know we want probably part of this to be a little bit of a surprise, right?
Yeah.
But the best that you can kind of give a little bit of an idea of what that looks like when music and documentary kind of come together.
Yeah, so I'm actually in the documentary, I'm traveling, I'm going to incarceration sites, getting inspired, improvising music and songs. And then and then part of the documentary is also about finding being more confident with my own Japanese American identity. And so I think you kind of follow me along and learn with me, because there's a lot of historical information as well. And so the viewer will actually come out knowing a lot about the incarceration.
Oh, wonderful. And why is it important to you? Why did you feel moved to do something with this?
Well, you know, my family has no connection to the incarceration. They came after the war. So for me, I think it's equally important to just, it's a history that everybody should know about. And its context is important to anybody in any generation.
Absolutely.
So I felt connected in that way.
Yes. And what do you hope people get out of watching this documentary and listening to your music?
Well, I think a lot of my film has to do with this bicultural identity that people struggle with, because a lot of these incarcerees were also immigrants. You know, they were struggling with it, we struggle with it now. There are plenty of people now struggling with what it is to be an American. And I think now is a good time to have that conversation, and also to feel more confident that America is really changing into a bicultural. You can be bicultural here, and it's totally fine.
Absolutely, yes, I love that. And as far as this performance goes, though, let's make sure people know when and where so they can participate and they can come see you, because it's happening tonight, right?
Yeah, it's tonight at the Egyptian Theater. I've never been there. I'm excited. Everybody's told me.
It's a beautiful space.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
There is, yes.
And nice, probably, I'm imagining crushed velvet seats, maybe.
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, it is. It's
it?
beautiful.
Okay.
So it's a historic building in itself, too, which is a beautiful setting for you doing something that is really focused around history, right?
Yeah.
So beautiful. Absolutely
Egyptian
beautiful.
history.
Egyptian history, well, yes.
Probably not.
But and I do want to know really quick here, too, Kay.
Yeah.
In this process of going to these camps and creating this documentary and then writing music, was there a moment that really stood out to you that impacted you?
Yeah, I think it's when I started to realize that this was an immigrant population, that a lot of their culture was suppressed. And I think, like, even as me growing up, and like Chris, you know, growing up, you know, you try and reclaim that culture, and I see that happening a lot. And I think this is a result of people feeling like they've been deprived of something. And I think it's really great to kind of incorporate your identity or your roots into your daily life.
Yeah. And then did you find too almost that this was kind of therapeutic for you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel much more confident than I was before I started making the movie, and seeing people around me doing similar things, you know, to find inspiration. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I love too that you, both you and Chris, also, you know, mentioned the fact that we're celebrating Japanese culture, and we're using this as a reminder to everybody why it's important that we embrace all cultures, all people, right? But that this day is also not only about the Japanese culture, but about anyone who might be finding themselves in a similar situation right now.
Yeah,
as we're
absolutely.
talking.
Yeah, because it's a day of remembrance. Why do we remember this history? Because it could easily be, it could happen again today, and it may actually be happening again. So it's really great. It's an important reminder to just really stand up and be have compassion and empathy for people, marginalized people who are really in need.
Yes. All right. So we have the honor of hearing you perform here in just a moment. What will you be performing for us?
I'm going to do a song called Manchester, which is one of my older songs, and then I'm going to do a song called Violin Tsunami.
Wonderful. Okay, everyone stick around. We'll be right back with a performance from the Fantastic K.